Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 3-day financial workshop all about money. We're talking about seeing it, we're talking about getting it, we're talking about tracking it, and we're talking about growing it. What is it? It's your money. And so we are really excited to get started with our first session in the lineup. We are going to just jump right in and we're going to be talking about getting money, making more money with what you have. Oh my goodness, this is going to be spectacular. So I want to get ready to turn it over to our presenter. But before I do, I want to remind everyone, please make sure to know that this is your time to ask questions to the subject matter expert. And so even throughout the process of the presentation, please feel free to put in your comments. We're going to be able to capture those and then at the end of the presentation, be able to answer your questions, okay? And so here we go. I'm going to get ready to pull up our presenter. Our presenter is the president and CEO of Universal Designs Education. Y'all put your hands together and welcome our presenter, Kimyatta Ratliff.
Thanks for having me, everyone. I'm so excited to be here this afternoon to speak with you all about making more money with what you have. I am going to be speaking from different levels, meaning from those who are about to start a business, who have been in business for a few years, and those of you who have been in business for years. There are things that we all can do to increase our money without having to get a loan or having to do things that can seem big to move forward. There are things we can do that we can make a great impact on our businesses right now. So in my first slide that I'm going to show you, we're going to be talking about evaluating. So if I can have my slide to be, okay, so our first slide is evaluate. So the very first thing that we want to do in order to make more money with what we have is to evaluate. That looks like is if we are starting a business and we have not started yet, and we're looking for funding or funds in order to support the business, we definitely want to use what we have, which is what? Our voice. We want to ask questions, ask anyone around us or businesses in our area that are here to support us. Ask them, I am trying to start a business and I need funding for X, Y, and Z. Is there any resources available in my area, or for a person of color, or for a woman-owned business? There are a lot of opportunities that are there that can help if we just open our mouths and ask people. So the first thing we have to do is evaluate what is in our area that we can take part in. So then we want to evaluate, and also these are in no order because I just wrote down different things that I've been talking to people about. I often consult with businesses and nonprofit leaders on how to start their business and how to expand. So these are just some things that I jotted down that I know that people have asked me during my journey as a business consultant. So these are in no particular order. So after you ask what is in my area, you want to evaluate who's around you, your family and friends. So for instance, like for me, when I first started my salon business, this was before crowdfunding was available, meaning like the different apps or the GoFundMe was there. I asked different people to donate money towards my goal. I told them what I wanted to do. And because I've been actively doing my business or doing hair for a long time, they were more apt to give towards me for my business. Even when I was going to college, people gave because I told them what I needed. So crowdfunding, make a list of who's around you, who you can ask, So for instance, if you need $5,000, then you would take that and say, oh, I need 10 people to give me X amount of dollars, or I need 50 people to give me X amount of dollars. And then you go and look for the funds. So even if you are in business for a while, you are communicating with your customer base, and you are have built up a rapport with them, you're able to state what you're doing. So if you, I don't know, need more marketing, or you need to get a new, let's say, a new freezer for your a restaurant, put the ask out there, let everybody know what's going on, because people will rally with you, support you, if you are not ashamed and or embarrassed to let people know what's going on, because it takes a village in order to have things happen. And oftentimes, though, it's been a track record that people of color are oftentimes turned down for loans and things like that. So we have to be creative in ways of how we get our funds, especially, of course, save your own money, and things like that. But if you just don't have it, evaluate who you have around you or at hand that you can put the ask towards. Then you will want to, I'm gonna say then, but again, this list is not in a particular order, but also you can, if you have a customer base already, survey them, ask them in person and online things that they want or need that you're not already offering. Because a lot of times, if people are coming to you, they may, or they definitely want something else or need something else, and that something else is something that you could potentially offer them, if you only knew what they had a need for. So evaluate your a customer base. Let's say that you don't have a base of customers already and you're trying to start a business, then you would still ask your friends and family, talk to strangers, ask them what they're interested in, ask them what they needs are, because that way you know what people are wanting, and when you offer it, you already have a group of people at hand that know that you are trying to do this. So that's a way that you can increase money in your business. Next thing that you can do is evaluate your market. This means that, so for instance, when I first started my salon, a universal design salon, I wanted a place where everyone could come to. But soon after starting, I realized that everyone was not coming to it because certain people's character did not contribute to what I wanted to make at the end of the week or month. Meaning I had to reevaluate my customer base to know that I don't want to work long hours a day with people who are not able to afford my service. I want to work smart and work for the people who want to come and want to pay me, so that I don't have to stand up 24 hours a day to make 500, and I can just do one head and make that $500. You know what I mean? So reevaluate your market base, because oftentimes having a heart for people that is not trying to give you or come to your business and serve you how you deserve to be served as a business owner can cause you to make a low income in your business. So evaluate that. You can also evaluate your expenses. A lot of times business owners, not knowingly, but they waste money in certain areas. So if I have a restaurant and I'm constantly making chili and people are coming in not ordering the chili, but I keep making it, that's going to waste. So we want to make sure we are keeping an eye out on what customers are buying, how much ingredients we're using, or if we are a salon owner or a barber, how much shampoo we are using on a client, or if we are a service, not a service, but a but a professional business. We're not wasting money on mailing out stuff, sending out stamps for things when we could just simply send an email for something. So trying to evaluate what we're doing to making sure that we're not being wasteful with our money. We can also evaluate our budget. Some things would have a cost to it, and we could assume that, oh, it takes a lot of money to run an ad or a lot of cash to get on TV. But if we knew what we had at all times in our budget and we knew where we were saving for it, we would be able to seek after ways that we can spend our money on, such as advertisement or buying something that we need, if we knew our budget and kept track on that. So we have to evaluate our surroundings, our people, our budget, our expenses, our market, and our customer base, so that we can see how to save our money, where to put it to, and what is the need. So on the next slide, we're going to talk about creating an atmosphere. The atmosphere of your business is very important. This is important for people who are just starting, as well as people who have been in business for a long time. People are looking for professional businesses. It is already hard for people of color to have consistent followers or people who support their business, because people already have a thought that, oh, it's hard to support a Black-owned business or an Asian-owned business because they never have things that I want, or they never is always not open when I need them, or they, are doing things that are not professional. So you definitely want to make sure your business is professional in all ways, meaning like from the time they call you, or back up, time they look up any Asian-owned restaurants in my area, you will pop up on Google as a restaurant in the area. So making sure the atmosphere is easy to be reached to your potential customer. So even then, when they call you, your voicemail needs to be professional, right? If you are taking online reservations or online appointments, being sure that the flow of them contacting you is easy for them to access. And if they want to ask a question and they call you, make sure you call them back. If they're texting you, make sure you text them back in a timely fashion. So all those things play a part in building a strong returning customer base. So that in turn is going to increase your money. So that's making more money with what you have. You have the ability to be professional. You have the time to put into your business so that people can know that you are the professional and know that you are serious about having them as a customer. A positive environment, making sure things are lit up, not in a dark environment. Making sure there's not a lot of cussing or things that in a bad atmosphere, that people who want to bring their kids into your business feel comfortable in continuing to support your business. Because people talk, like all of these things go into play. Because if I go into your business and I have a bad experience, and someone asks me, have you ever been to this restaurant or to this spa or to this, tech company? I'm going to say, I have, but man, my experience there was X, Y, and Z. So you definitely want to make sure that customers who come to your business leave with a good impression so that they can then tell someone else, which will in turn help you make more money with what you already have. Make sure your team members, if you have staff, make sure they know the goal. Make sure and test them. Make sure that they are doing what you have put in place for them to do, because everyone matters in your business. They're gonna, if a customer come into your business and the first person they see is rude or whatever, they're gonna get a bad feeling of the whole business, not just that one person, because that person represents you. Like for me, I literally stopped using Sprint because their customer service is not a good customer service. So I'm like, I X out the whole Sprint service because I didn't like how they service was, and people are like that. So you definitely want to make sure you put your best efforts forward to be seen in a good way, and test your employees. Create an atmosphere. Have accurate information on Google. People nowadays is technology. Google, everyone Googles, everyone YouTubes, everyone wants to see a video, everyone goes to your social media. Make sure these are things that are free for you to use and have, right? So everyone has Facebook, Instagram, TikTok nowadays. Everyone has Google access. Make sure you have a website and make sure all your information is accurate. Even when it comes to having a website, there are free websites, and you don't have to have a big, massive website page. Make sure your name, phone number, contact information, hours are there, so that when people look you up, they know that you are an actual business and you are open and ready at these times that you say that you are going to be open for. If it is a holiday day coming up, make sure your hours match what it says on Google and your social medias, because people are looking at all times to support or buy something that they may need. Definitely use your social media. I know for me, I'm one that is tired of having to get a new app or a new this and this, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all this other stuff. But you have to make sure you are present on these things in some form or fashion, even if you're not posting every day. Make sure when to your social and see if you have pictures of your food or your hairstyles or your a clothing line, or if you make signs, people are going to want to see your actual work to see if you actually do good work. So make sure you have pictures on your social website and everything else so that people can see it at least. You will want to build an atmosphere where you know your customers. You don't have to know everyone by name, but if someone is coming every week, every other week, you definitely should at least know their first name, right? Because they are constantly coming to your business, and it's a guarantee that they are telling other people about you. If you have a trouble with that, because there are things in place like CRMs where you can use, like Square, QuickBooks, and things like that, where put people's names in and put their birthdays in there so that you can send them emails periodically on what's happening in your business. You want to always stay present in people's eyesight so that they can know what is going on with you. The third slide that I'm going to show you is get seen. We oftentimes, so I said social media already. Get seen. Google, YouTube, website. Partner up with other companies. So if you are a restaurant and you can partner up with another soul food restaurant and do some type of event, right? It's about exposure. If you don't want to partner with the same type of food place, partner up with a different type of food place. It's not really, don't have the mindset of competition, have a mindset of being able to grow with people in business with you. Get out in the community. We here in Northeast Wisconsin have a lot of farmers markets. We have a lot of events. Be a part of these things, because the more exposure you have, the more people that are going to come into your business and patronize it. I'm going to talk about discounts versus having a promotion. It depends on the type of business you are to where you would offer a discount. If you are a service business, discounts are can have you look cheaper than what you really are. So you definitely want to have a promotion rather than a discount. Promotion is you promoting something that's new in your business, or you are giving them a free service that only takes a short amount of time to thank them for coming to you every year. For instance, for their birthdays. Um, Also, so basically, I'm saying like you want to promote your new service or a new business or a new something versus offering discounts to people. Then you want to find a new market. We can get complacent or stuck in saying, "Oh, I only cut African American hairstyles," right? So then that limits us on how much money we can then have, because if someone come into your shop and you can't cut them, that's cash that is exiting out your door. So definitely put money and effort and time in trainings and opening up your market. Try to connect with a try to connect with a nonprofit that is in your area. So for instance, if you offer, let me see, if you do print work, right? Go to different nonprofits in the area and say, "Oh, I do this and this and that. I'm a small business and I can offer you this promotion of X, Y, and Z because of whatever." Or if you cook certain types of food, market yourself to different groups in the area, because people are always trying to experience new foods, new tastes, especially when Black History Month or Asian something comes along, or what it's called. I can't think of the name, but advertise yourself to organizations and say, "We cater," right? Put yourself in front of new markets. And the fourth thing I'm going to talk about is be open. Be open to distribution channels. So if you are used to having people come into your restaurant, COVID has shown this to be proven. Like, be open to getting your stuff out in any way you can. So if you have a restaurant and you are used to having people coming in, now you want to offer a drop, what's it called, like people coming to pick up your food, or having a drive through, or having your food delivered. If you do clothing, shipping stuff out to people. So finding different ways of getting your product or service out to people. If you do a service, now switch to teaching classes or being a consultant to people. Those are ways you can make more money with what you have at hand. Being able to be open to reinvest in your business. This goes along with knowing your budget, taking the money every week or every month, putting X amount of dollars aside so that it can be put back into your business, so that you can take a class that your client have already told you in that survey, "I want you to learn how to do whatever." You can take the class and then now offer it. So putting money back into your business is going to help you make more money with what you have. You would then want to add new products and services, mix it up, make things excited. So on my last slide, which I'm just going to say thank you for having me and listening to how to make more money with what you have, I want to say definitely stay focused and driven, because it does take time. Even if you are a new business or old business that have been in business in years, being able to sit down and work on your business versus in your business all the time is going to help you a great deal. And sometimes you will have to get a second job to make things happen. You know what I mean? As you are being open to doing what you have to do to work on your business versus just in it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, Kimyatta, for a wonderful, powerful presentation of really showing us and teaching us, how to get this money and making more money with what you have. And so I just want to let everyone know, please make sure that if you have questions, to post them in the chat. And then definitely, if you want to know more or be in contact with Kimyatta, it is up on the slide and we'll have it also on the screen. But you can definitely reach out to her on her website at www.universaldsigneducation.com. And so we are going to hop into some questions, and definitely, again, everyone, if you have questions, make sure to put them in the chat. So Kimyatta, you covered some great points, and when it comes to this topic, and you had told us to evaluate, create the atmosphere, get seen, and be open. And so the first question is kind of in that evaluate space. You had talked about the people, what's around you, who's around you. And so the question is, if I am a business owner that is embarrassed or even scared of people saying no, like what suggestions or what can you offer the person that maybe like, you know what, I want to be able to get out here and evaluate and talk to people and say, this is what I need, but I'm embarrassed or I'm scared that they may say no when I am asking for help?
Well, first thing I want to say is scared money don't make money, right? So that is factual, but I'm also joking, but that is a factual thing. So like for me, I stutter. So for a long time, it was hard for me to come up to new people. So I just made business cards that was very simple, my name, and had pictures and showed what I do on my card. So that way, when I'm going up to people, that is a buffer for me to show them, hey, I have X, Y, and Z here, here to offer. And then, so that was back in the day, which I'm not that old, but nowadays we have a social media, run ads. You know what I mean? Go into people inboxes, but definitely the more you are talking to people face to face, the more customers you're going to get, because people want to support your energy. Energy connects and also draw people. So definitely practice, even as far as like going on live, because some things I've sold on live on social media, you have to practice it so you're able to go live or make a comment on Facebook that you can only see yourself, or you can pick who you want to see that comment, and you can practice with trusted friends and family, on your lives if you are selling online. So just practicing doing things that can give you a easy access or a open to somebody if you have a problem in talking or speaking, or if you're just scared or whatever.
Okay, thank you for that. And so I know that you are a great coach, advisor in this space. And so this question is more around, and you may be like, that's the paid for version. If that's the paid for version, let me know. But when it comes to this part of evaluating and asking questions, some of us may ask surface-based questions because it's like you had said to evaluate your business, give a questionnaire. You had said survey your people. But what if the struggle is with the questions? Asking a question that may be a surface level versus a question that can really get you the information you're looking at. Can you share any wisdom or thoughts around how do I find out what to ask, or am I asking the right questions?
Yeah, basically, if you have a customer base and there have been customers that have been coming to you, you definitely want to use them to check everything, right? Ask them, are these good questions to ask? What are some questions that I should add to this list while I'm doing it? Because if you get them involved in what you're doing, they're gonna to help you get other customers and also help you see things and kind of cheer you on. But then also, if you don't have a customer base, you can reach out to organizations like Color Bold or Score or anything that's in your area where they help and service small companies. So I'm gonna say there isn't any excuse, but I would ask a stranger, literally, like if I'm working on something and no one has the answer that I am trying to find, I would ask anybody that I see, because if I'm going to sit and say how is the weather and that's not helping me, I'm going to ask a question that is going to benefit me and help me with what I'm working on at that time.
Okay, that is definitely fair. Yes, y'all, please keep those questions coming. Make sure that you just throw them in the chat and we will continually ask Kimyatta some questions. Kimyatta, another question, you had talked about creating an atmosphere. And so this part I think is very interesting because you took us on this journey from like when they look at the website, when they call in our voicemail, that my voicemail is not just like, hi, I guess I got to be able to say more than that. But how do I, as a business owner, how do we as business owners really find out and make sure that our business, our atmosphere is really creating a professional or an atmosphere that people would like to patron? So how do we really evaluate that with the blinders off? Because I may be like, it's good, but then the people may be like, you're whack.
Yeah, I like the same thing I just said. Ask your customer base. Does my voicemail sound professional to you? They're like, girl, that is not professional. Or ask your family members, if you cannot trust them or don't have any, ask somebody from an organization that works with small business owners, or get a consultant. We have to be able to be open to spending money on areas that we need help in. And if you need help in consulting on different things in your business, get a business consultant. If you cannot find any help from organizations that are here and really to help, that is free to you, right? So asking people is very important, or even calling other businesses and seeing what they're saying, how they're doing it. There's nothing wrong in doing some research on things.
Okay. And I think that is definitely some great information because, acts, and it's like being able to break that down. And I like how you said it. If it's the phone service, if that's what I'm checking, if it's the atmosphere, being able to break it down. And it sounds like not just to be like just overall, you may want to know overall, but being willing to break down in those smaller areas as well. We got another question here. You talked about getting seen and growing with other businesses. And so you had talked about that. And I know you did your presentation. I really would like to hear a little bit more about that part, because it almost is, it's so different, I think, from what business has been years ago, of like, you know what, it's about me. And if I connect, I don't want to send people to another business, And so when you say that, can you unpackage that a little bit more when you talk about growing with other businesses?
Yeah, there are customers for everyone. And so if I am a restaurant and I make soul food, and you have a restaurant and you make soul food, we may not have everything on our menu the same, or we could have it the same, but it tastes differently because you're cooking it and then I'm cooking it, right? And so people who are gonna, if we came together and say, hey, let's do an event for Dr. King Day, or let's do an event for Juneteenth, or whatever it be, and people are coming around to support us both because we're coming together for a bigger cause, they're going to see us in a different light. They may like my fried chicken and may like your banana pudding, right? And so I'm going to then come to you to eat my pudding, and then come over here, for a chicken. But then also, if I had a restaurant where I served, I served, I served, I can't say where. If I served, 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 if I served Hispanic food, and you served food that was Asian cuisine, and we came together and did a event for multicultural whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people who are going to come to the event for Dr. King are coming for a certain thing, and then people who are going to come to this event for all cultures are going to be different people 9 times out of 10. So it's all about expanding your market and sharing customer base. Everyone don't like to eat the same food every day, right? They want a mix of things that is happening each day. And so they want to support other people of color too. So it's nothing wrong with connecting with another business, because you can learn something from me as well as I can learn something from you, and we can grow together and we can serve our community together. So
Awesome. And we have one more question. You had talked about being open. And so, in that being open, you had said having the willingness to shift. And so, when we were looking at this financial series and we talked about how the pandemic shifted how we did it, how we do business, or how we look at things, can you just give us a little bit or just a nugget of maybe how, when you talk about being open to shift, what are maybe some of the things that you have seen where it has been where businesses have to shift, or even personal of being able to shift even on a dime, or even in this transition, how quick we had to change in the midst of the pandemic?
Mm-hmm. So one of the businesses that I consult, they sold products online to people already, right? And so when people had to close their business down, this company was a smaller company, and so when they started to see that actual storefronts were closing, they saw a chance to make more money. But what this company had not done before was spend a lot of time in advertising their business out. So I encouraged them to start to advertise their business and actually being in person at different things, like I'm gonna say in person, trying to say saying like passing out flyers and stuff.
Mm-hmm. The
Saying,
personability part.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can come shop with me online, since all these things have been shut down, since COVID. So that helped
Mm-hmm.
bring in income to their business. So it's almost like being able to shift and change when things are happening, and not think that things take a long time to build up and do. For instance, me, like personally, I personally have shifted from doing hair into teaching hair online during COVID. So that was a shift for me, because a while we weren't able to do hair. And so that kind of took a downward increase in my income. But at the same time, I personally have always had other things happening for me. And so that was just like a nudge for me to move forward in the classes. So being able to shift and being open to change is very important for a small business owner to be able to have that 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 have that I said the word have that, but then also if they don't have it, being able to listen to other people when they are giving the advice of changing things that they are having in their business.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you know what, Kimyatta, we truly thank you and appreciate you for bringing light to the topic of money. And it's about getting money, making more money with what you have. And of course, everyone, thank you for your participation. And even if you are on the replay, thank you for just watching and being able to participate. Again, if you want to find out more, talk with Kimyatta, make sure to visit her website. And then also her website is back up on the screen, universaldesigns.education.com. And then, of course, everyone, if you want to know more about Color Bold and just to be able to be in the know, there's a survey that is attached in the comments. Make sure to click on the link and fill out that survey. And of course, please, 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 again, if you want to know more, you can also check us out, be a part of our newsletter to be in the know first at colorbowl.org. And don't forget, we will be back at 2:00 because we are going to continue to talk about how to get this money, y'all. Okay, so truly, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kimyatta. And we will see everyone back here at 2:00.